Well, hello everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of Movie Passion. Yes, I know it's been a while, but yeah, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I'm going to do more Movie Passion videos, even though I sometimes might be doing some other videos. But yeah, Movie Passion is definitely something that I want to do more episodes of. And today's movie is a movie that I waited far too long to actually talk about this movie because, as you might know, if you know my channel or if you watch some of my videos, I make a lot of videos about mini discs. And the movie that I want to talk about today is basically the mini disc movie. So, yeah, today I want to take a closer look at Strange Days. Strange Days is a movie that came out, I think, in 1995 and it took place in 1999. So it's already, it used to be science fiction, but I mean, yeah, it is still science fiction. I mean, science fiction doesn't has to take place in the future. It just has to have some kind of scientific or technology that doesn't really exist. So, yeah, science fiction doesn't necessarily has to be futuristic, so to say. But yeah, it used to be a futuristic movie. Um, so, what is this movie all about? It's kind of difficult to talk about it because I don't want to spoil too much, at least not at the beginning of this video. But basically, this movie is about this guy, Lenny Nero, and he used to be a policeman, but then he got fired from the job for doing various different illegal things. And yeah, he is dealing with squid clips now. So this is how he makes money or how he makes a living. But it's illegal. So what exactly is squid? Well, I don't want to tell you what exactly those letters stand for because kind of like a tongue twister a little bit for me. Um, but yeah, squid is like this weird technology that allows you to record things directly from your brain. So if you experience something, you can record that experience. And it also lets you play it back directly into your brain, which is basically kind of like reliving the same moment. So you can relive everything you see, hear, smell, feel, everything like adrenaline rush or excitement or fear. It really records everything. So basically, watching those recordings is really almost like traveling back in time and reliving the same moment again. Um, and the crazy thing is, there are many reviews about this movie, and in many of these reviews, people refer to this whole squid technology as some kind of a drug, like a cyber drug or techno drug or electronic drug or whatever. But really, it isn't really a drug. Apparently, those people haven't really seen the movie, or maybe they weren't paying close attention to it. But in the movie, they explain what this squid technology is or how it came to existence. I mean, it was developed for the police. I don't know if it's like some kind of a surveillance, but yeah, it's basically kind of like a weird, over the top, crazy, futuristic version of a body cam in a way. So, yeah, how can it be a drug if it's basically just like a futuristic version of a body cam? Doesn't really make sense. also, it's not that this technology itself is really addictive or that it's something that makes you high or something like this. I mean, like I said, it is made or it used to be made for the police. And yeah, if they record something with it, obviously it becomes evidence. And this means if it's evidence and if there is some kind of a trial, people have to watch those recordings. So, like police officers and people from the jury, but also lawyers and judges. So, yeah, it wouldn't really make any sense if that whole technology would be a drug or if it would be addictive or something like that, or if it would make you high. Um, because apparently every judge, every lawyer, people that would have to watch a lot of these clips would become squid junkies over time. So, yeah, it wouldn't make sense. But the thing is, apparently, this technology landed on the black market, and it is obviously illegal to use this technology as a civilian and to deal with this technology or to make recordings of your own and then deal with those recordings because you are using illegal police technology. So it's not illegal because it's a drug or because it's addictive, but because it is police technology that you misuse or that you are using in order to gain money. So, but the question is, why are some people in this movie acting as if it is a drug, or why do they act as if it's addictive? Um, well, first of all, it is like the excitement. For example, if you are a guy and you watch a recording that was made by a girl, basically you experience what it's like to be a girl at this point. And of course, this can be interesting and exciting, like wow, mind blowing. Um, but also, if you do something, if you have a recording of somebody committing a crime, which is something that we could see at the beginning of the movie, um, it also records like the adrenaline rush. And if you watch it, you also experience that same adrenaline rush. And the same thing goes for various different extreme sports, like skydiving or whatever. You experience that same adrenaline rush while sitting on your couch or something like that. So, this is why some people act or react a little bit strange to those clips. And yes, there are some people that became addicted to it, but I would say those squid clips, they can be addictive in the same way how like video games, like MMORPGs can be addictive, or like gambling could be addicted or addictive. It's kind of like it's not the technology itself that is addictive on its own, but it's the experience and how your body reacts to that experience that is addictive, like gambling. And, by the way, while we are on the subject, scientists have also discovered that like social media, like using various different social media platforms can be just as addictive as gambling. So yeah, you can see there are many things in this world that can be addictive even though they are not really technically a drug. So yeah, and speaking of drugs, this is something that I thought was kind of like a lost opportunity in this movie when it comes to this whole squid technology, because they talk about all different kinds of things that you might record and that you might experience. Like, hey, you want to know what it's like to be a girl, or you want to know what it feels like to commit a crime and rob a liquor store or something like this, or to go downhill biking or skiing or skydiving or whatever. You can experience all that. And of course, all different kinds of sex, everything that you could think of. Um, so, yeah, like, think of it as porn movies, but you have the ability to be the actor or one of the actors in that porn movie and experience everything that they experienced while they were doing that movie. Um, but it doesn't really work that well with porn movies because there's a lot of stuff that is fake in porn movies. But yeah, like various different kinds of sex. And yeah, Lenny Nero also said that those squid clips are safer than the original because sex could be dangerous and it could also kill you, especially if you have sex with a lot of strangers. I mean, the person that you have sex with could be a crazy person and a murderer, but there is also various different diseases, like AIDS, that could kill you. So, yeah, like in a way, he is right. Those clips could save lives, or they are safer than the real thing. But the same thing would also go for drugs, right? I mean, how is it that they never even thought about, hey, what if people would record themselves while doing drugs? So basically, it gives them the ability to record their entire drug trip. And therefore, it gives them the ability to relive that drug trip. So basically, you could experience drug trips without having to take drugs. It's a crazy opportunity that they somehow never really talked about in this movie. I mean, those squid clips, they could have the ability to basically destroy the entire drug market because who would buy drugs at this point if you could just buy one of those clips and have as many drug trips as you want? And on the further note, is that what you say? I don't know, but you can tell that my mind is racing right now. Um, but we know that various different drugs are also very, very bad for your health. Not only because they are addictive, but also because, they can damage your body. Like, really. Alcohol can damage your body. I mean, just think about the so called Korsakoff syndrome. And cigarettes can destroy your body and kill you, and alcohol can kill you, and all different kinds of drugs can kill you and like destroy various different parts of your body. But with those squid clips, you have the ability to experience drug trips without having to take drugs and without destroying your body and killing yourself. So, yeah, there is obviously some very positive side effects or very positive benefits when it comes to this squid technology. I mean, I'm definitely not saying that this technology is without any dangers. I don't say that it's a really harmless technology. Apparently, it is possible to really permanently damage someone's brain. I don't know if you have to disable or bypass some safety mechanisms or whatever, but apparently it is possible to turn up the signal so high that it basically fries certain parts of that person's brain, and then this person basically ends up in some kind of a coma, and this apparently lasts forever, as we can see more than just once in this movie. But then on the other hand, I think this technology still shouldn't be used only by the police. I think other people, especially doctors or therapists, should also be able to, or, well, I don't, maybe certified or allowed to use this technology. Because I think, especially when it comes to various different therapies, it could have some kind of a therapeutic effect. I mean, it always depends on who this person is and what kind of a recording this person is watching. So I really think that it could help people that have maybe a post traumatic stress disorder or shell shock, or people that have anxiety or whatever. I mean, there's this one scene where Lenny is visiting like another friend of his in this club, and he is in a wheelchair because he has no legs, and Lenny is giving him a clip of someone, like a recording of some guy running along a beach, on a beach, and for some reason it's in slow motion. So apparently you can also manipulate the recording or playback speed in a way. So it's a recording of some guy running on a beach, and then there is this beautiful woman uh, running past him and looking at him and smiling at him. And I mean, you can see how happy this guy is. I mean, thanks to this technology, thanks to this recording, he had the ability to experience once again what it's like to have legs. And even though he still has no legs, it still is probably nice to know what it feels like again. So yeah, I think it's kind of like, I don't know what the English term would be, but it has two different sides. It can have very positive effects, but apparently also very negative effects. So yeah, um, and like I said, it is the Minidisc movie. So like I said, basically they record everything onto mini discs. And I mean, obviously, it's something that couldn't even possibly work, not only because right now it is still impossible to record memories and stuff like that, but it would also be impossible due to the incredibly low um, storage capacity of mini discs. I mean, I think you can only store something like 200 or maybe 300 megabyte on a standard mini disc. I mean, later on there came the high MDs, and but they also only had a capacity of 1 gigabyte. So yeah, I don't think that you could record all this information onto a 300 megabyte or 1 gigabyte disk. I mean, there would have to be a lot of data compression in order to make that possible. Um, Also, another thing that I want to talk about when it comes to those mini disc in those movies. So apparently they are using TDK mini discs, and I think they are TDK. What are they? XG mini discs or something like this. And even though we can see various different TDK logos and TDK mini disc boxes in this movie, so apparently they have some kind of a contract or something with TDK, but I don't really understand why they decided to remove the shutters from those mini discs. I mean, what was the point of that? It's not like, oh, we have to remove everything that could tell people what brand of mini disc it is, because obviously there are some labels and some boxes that clearly say TDK. So yeah, I don't really know why they felt the need to remove the shutters from those mini discs. And also, the weird thing is, they thought, okay, we have this weird science fiction technology, like this squid technology, but instead of inventing or like coming up with some artificial, non existing storage format, we use something that actually exists. We are using mini discs, and we claim that they record everything onto those discs, even though we never really officially call them mini disc. We just call them squid tapes. And by the way, I never really understood why they referred to those things as tapes when they are obviously optical discs. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It would have made more sense for them to use DAT discs or maybe DCC or something like that. But no, they decided to go with mini discs, but still call it tapes. Um, but yeah, they took mini discs instead of coming up with something new and something non existing. But then when it comes to the devices that they use to record and play those discs, that's when they build like non existing devices, like real props and something like that, instead of just using actual existing mini disc recorders and, maybe just removing the brand or something like this. I mean, why didn't they just use something like the Sony MZ1? Wouldn't that have been like a perfect device, and you wouldn't have to build a prop? You could just use the MZ1 and just remove like the Sony or whatever. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I would say that's enough about mini disc and about that whole squid technology. Let's talk about the actual movie and the actual story of this movie. So, like I said, Lenny is um, an ex cop that is now dealing with those squid clips. And yeah, there is this one person that we can see at the very beginning of the movie, that person called Iris, and she's being hunted by two crazy cops, and they want to kill her or catch her or whatever. And then they realize, oh my god, she had one of those hair nets. So apparently she did record everything that happened that we didn't want anybody to see. But at this point, we don't know what exactly it is yet. Um, so she has some recordings, some squid recordings that she wanted Lenny to see because they were important, and she is being hunted by apparently those crazy cops. And yeah, apparently she's getting killed by somebody, but it's somebody where we don't know who it was. It's apparently, it seems like it has nothing to do with those cops, but in the same time it seems like it has something to do with those cops. And then he's getting more and more of those tapes. Like there is also one recording of the same guy that killed Iris, like breaking into Lenny's place, into Lenny's apartment, while Lenny is there. And Lenny is sleeping on the couch, and there's this guy with, I don't know what you call it in English, like this carpet knife or whatever. And yeah, he's like really ready to slit his throat, but he doesn't do it. But Lenny has the recording, and he knows, okay, there is this guy that used to stand right next to me while I was asleep. Um, and yeah, then there is Iris was obviously some kind of a friend with Faith, and Faith was Lenny's ex-girlfriend, and Faith is now kind of working for this, I don't know, what is he, a manager called Philo. And yeah, Philo is also like a crazy person that became kind of like addicted to those squid clips because he became really incredibly paranoid. And yeah, you throughout the entire movie you wonder, okay, what exactly is it that is going on? So apparently Iris was chased by those crazy cops, and then she was killed by that crazy person where we don't know who he was, but he recorded himself killing her. And there was like this crazy feedback that she could see herself and experience her own fear, or she could also feel what the killer felt as he tortured her. And it was like a really crazy mind fuck. And yeah, it is really difficult to talk about this movie without spoiling. So yeah, I would say at this point there will be spoilers. So yeah, there is this rapper called Jericho, and he got stopped by the police. And Philo became really crazy. He had one of those people, Iris, equipped with this squid technology. So she recorded like that Jericho guy, like that rapper. And then that rapper got pulled over by the police. And because he is rapping about police brutality and all that kind of stuff, those cops became really crazy. And one of those cops shot that rapper. He shot Jericho. And Iris managed to escape, but Iris also recorded this cop executing that rapper. So, of course, if this clip would have gone public, first of all, Philo would have been in trouble because he let people record his artists without those artists knowing that they are being recorded. But at the same time, it would be like crazy disaster when the people would realize, oh my god, there are those cops that just executed one of the most famous black rappers or famous black artists. And it would have been crazy. And yeah, there is also what is his name, Jack, who is like a friend of Lenny, but he started working for Philo, and he also was the guy who killed Iris and who made all those crazy recordings. And yeah, the reason why they didn't realize that it was him. I mean, later on you put the puzzle pieces together. So like you could see, okay, the colors are kind of off. Maybe there was some brain injury, some trauma or something like this. And we realize earlier in the movie that Jack got shot, and this is why he can't be a police officer anymore. And yeah, he's colorblind, and you could see that in the clip, kind of, but they didn't know that. He didn't know that, like Lenny didn't know that he was colorblind. And yeah, it's such a crazy movie, such a mindfuck. And yeah, I can only tell you, go and watch this movie. And yeah, it's a crazy thrill ride, definitely, especially if you don't know what is going to happen, if you don't know who is working with who. And yeah, it's a really crazy movie, and I can only highly recommend this movie. Yeah, maybe even though it is science fiction, it's not futuristic except for those squid clips. But yeah, it's a really great movie. And I do have to say this is basically the movie that got me into Minidisc, really. This is like the main reason. I thought, wow, Minidiscs really do exist. I know that you can't record like the things that they record in a movie. You can only record music, but how cool is it to use something that you can see in a science fiction movie? You know, that's what I loved about Minidisc. It was kind of like an actual usable prop in a way. And yeah, so I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope you liked this movie. And yeah, thanks for watching. Go check out my other movie passion videos. Check out all my other mini disc videos and whatever. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye.